Alrighty, I'm back. How's it going, everyone? Marriland here, and it's time for more Pearl Wedlocke. Oh yeah. I need to train up. Yes, I do. We're gonna have some fun. I need to go back and fight some very basic things with Fang. Get Fang up to probably level 9 or 10 or something. And yeah, then I'll be able to actually use her, and I'll be able to evolve Wisdom. So I'm not going to be using Wisdom right away as an Alakazam. I'll hold off on Alakazam until probably level 21, just because I don't like to evolve trait evolutions right away. But other than that, I will be allowing trait evolutions. I have no problem with that. I think it's kind of a silly restriction, to be honest. Oh man, so we did have, let me go ahead and send this, because it was like right when I was going on break. It was Special K44 with 100 bits saying missed last stream, but here are some bits for getting the first badge. Thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. Okay, now let's just go ahead and fight like super basic things, like Bidoof. Like, I don't know, man. I guess I do have a safe switch in, but, you know. Ooh, you know what? If I don't heal, I could teleport back to Floroma. Although, I think I'm gonna need a heal, so it's really not a big deal. Yeah, this is... Wait, hold on. Wrong order. Hold up. There we go. Alright, that's better. So yeah, we just get a nice relaxing time. Hopefully... you guys are... no. No, not this thing. No. Oh, I should probably reorder Pluck, by the way. Should also get Bite. I don't remember when, but I know I get it sometime. Alright, let's see. Now we should be alright. I'm not gonna fight the Machop just yet, because they're pretty high level. Although I guess I don't have any normal type moves, so... Fang shouldn't take that much damage. I'll probably train there after I get up to like 8 or 9. We just have to get some basic experience first. Ooh, I should turn off battle animations. As nice as it is watching Fang just use Pluck over and over again, I think it will get a little boring. Will I ever play, or would I ever play a randomizer? I would not, because I need to play on the actual game cards. I don't use ROMs. Nope, not on my channel. I only use the official game cards or cartridges or digital downloads or whatever medium that I actually bought / paid for. Or got as a gift, I guess. What was I about to do? There's something I was about to do. Battle animations, that's what it was. Alright, let's turn that off. Hit confirm. And let's just, darn it. Maybe I should just go back to Route 3, or check out Route 4. Or 204, I'm sorry. Okay, I think we're gonna do that. I think. Where do they get the TM for Pluck? I got it in Floroma Town. You can actually have, you can talk to someone inside one of the houses, and they will give it to you for free, which is pretty nice. The only offensive move that Machop has is low kick. That does seem pretty weak, actually. And they do give a reasonable amount of experience. Well, maybe I'll do that. Does it probably take like 3 hits? with wing attack, maybe? And I think I get closer to 100 experience per fight, so... Alright, anyway. Ooh. I don't think I can one-hit KO this thing, but we'll go for it. See ya! Adios! Alright, I didn't actually need to read that sign, it's fine. However, I could probably fight a Zubat, because this thing doesn't really have anything it can do other than Supersonic. Legacy Jellybean subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for that big service and for choosing me with your Twitch Prime sub. Really appreciate that. That is awesome. Oh, so close to level 7. Alright, well that's fine. We'll gain levels. We'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, just not on this thing. No way! Although I could totally have Wisdom fight a Geodude. That's pretty good experience. Glad you like my content for that reason, Turtwig. 909. It's just kind of been one of the things for my channel. Hey, Zaphod! 616 subscribing with Twitch Prime as well. Thank you so much for that big service. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for choosing me for your Twitch Prime sub. Very, very awesome. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. I need to head on over to Route 207, where I got my Geodude, Enamel. Raging Torchic subscribing with Twitch Prime. Hey, thank you so much for that big service. Really do appreciate that. I just said for the past few, it's like a train of Twitch Prime subs. All aboard the Twitch Prime train! Thank you so much for choosing me for your Twitch Prime sub. Really do appreciate that. I guess I'll go over it again, because like I said about Twitch videos, you know, you gotta explain the same thing over and over. But that's fine. But since we had like 3 of them in a row like that, it must be that people maybe were paying attention, or maybe they just all had the same idea. But yeah. Really, really cool that if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can actually get a free subscription every month. You have to manually do it. It doesn't auto-renew. That's the downside. But as long as you have your Twitch account linked to your Amazon Prime account, then you can get a free sub to any affiliate or partnered streamer on Twitch, which definitely helps them. They get the same amount as it were, you know, like, you know, with cash dollars, let's say. Like, it's not worse having a Twitch Prime sub, so it's just a great way to help out. Definitely. Let's see. Legacy Jellybean saying, I love how the bottom screen does not update when you heal, but after you leave the building. Oh, 2007, so many limitations. So true. So true. It's kind of weird like that. Ardub23 subscribing for the 8th month in a row with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for that big service. Really do appreciate that. Choosing me yet again. Let's see. Just didn't know about the Amazon Prime free sub thing, which is awesome to know. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. And you know, you don't have to use it on me, too. You can use it on anyone. Like, you know, let's say you're subscribed normally to me, then, you know, you might find another Twitch streamer that's like, hey, I like your stuff. And, you know, I don't know if I necessarily want to add any to my budget for Twitch subs, but you can always just use a month of Twitch Prime on them, and it's a huge help. It's definitely really nice. Let's see. If I catch a shiny, how will I pair it? Well, it'll be on the PC at this point if I catch one. So it'll just then be paired like normal. However, there is a very odd possibility, and I guess maybe we could think about it. What if I run into a shiny Pokemon that is genderless? Not that that's ever happened before in a Gen 4 game. Now, last time that was a Nuzlocke, so it wasn't as much of a concern. But being a Wedlocke, it makes it a little more awkward, so I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'd allow it to be paired. Because I feel like it's nice to use a shiny Pokemon, you know? It seems kind of nice. So, we shall see. Alright, let's see. Could roll a die to assign it a gender. I mean, I could. I could just wildcard it. Be a little overpowered, but again, 1 in 8,192 chance. I feel like, you know, you can kind of take some liberties there. Especially because this is going to be a pretty challenging thing anyway. You know, I might actually just train here even longer than level 9. So I'm trying to think what else I can take out in one hit. These give sufficient experience, kind of. Like, it's one hit. It will be one hit to KO them. I'll get attack or EVs, which is kind of nice. Also, they give a lot less experience than I thought. I thought they gave more, but apparently not. It's really not that much more at all. Oh, man. You know what I didn't do? I didn't actually try one of those coffee nut M&Ms on camera. Maybe we should do that. So in case you missed it, coffee nut M&Ms, guys. These are pretty choice. They are pretty darn choice. Like, crispy M&Ms are nice and all, but wow, these are really good. I'm gonna have like one. We'll share this experience together. I don't even have the experience share yet, but we're gonna share it. I might actually have two. Oh yeah, look at this beauty. They're like black and brown and like a kind of beige color. There's 3 different colors here. Let me show you. I don't know how well you can see them, but yeah, see, they're like 3 different colors. And they're pretty good. If you like coffee. I'd say it's like a, I don't know, like a caramel kind of flavor as well. How did I come up with this naming theme? I had to go to the dentist. So, that was what was on my mind. Yeah, those are really good. I'm like definitely a fan. Definitely a fan. Okay, anyway. That is my handy adventure for today. Ooh, Normal Zach 11 saying, should I try all of the exotic M&Ms? I mean, I'm just gonna say... Wait, why is Fang level 10? I think I must have pressed... I think I pressed something on my keyboard while eating M&Ms. Just gonna say, Your name is Normal Zach, so might be a little out of the realm going with exotic M&Ms. Maybe you should stick to the normal M&Ms. I'm just joshing. Yeah, I'd say do it. That's kind of something I'd like to try, because there's a lot of different M&M flavors now. Some of them are good. Some of them are, okay. Some of them are rather similar. Coffee Nut's quite exotic. Really good. There's another one I had around, Halloween. It was candy corn. That was really good as well. Now, I don't actually have, like, candy and chocolates all the time, don't get me wrong. But every now and then, I like it. I think that's fair. I actually find that having M&Ms is just like a nice little treat, you know? Because I get a bag about, like, this size, and then it lasts me for probably, like, 2 weeks or something. You know, I just have an M&M every now and then. Kind of keeps me going. Kind of a nice little reward, you know, if it's like, okay, I was working till like however long a night or however late at night, and you know, it's like, yeah, I did this, let me reward myself a little something, but I don't go overboard. I think that's important. I was very good in January. Very good. Very good indeed. Hey, how's it going, Pokemon Cast? I kind of want to do that again for, like, March. Maybe alternate. Have, like, you know, 1 month where I don't really care, and then 1 month where it's like, okay, eat, like, a lot of proteins, a lot of veggies, a lot of stuff like that. Because, you know, it does kind of stink feeling deprived. But like, I manage just fine. Finding a good way to kind of, you know, stick with something's really important, too. I know, like, lately it's been like, okay, I don't really care what it is that I'm eating right now, because I gotta get all this stuff done. I'll worry about that once I'm, like, set. And now I'll be set, which is kind of nice, like... Ugh, it was just a problem trying to stay focused with getting 3 different series launched and an explanation video and stuff like that. But it's rolling now, which is great. Nathan Keithline subscribing. Thank you so much for that big service. Really do appreciate that so much. Oh yeah. Alright, let's see. What else do I need to... I was just about... Oh yeah, I was reading Sam Speaks saying, hey Marriland, you said way back in your Platinum Nuzlocke, Platinum was your favorite Pokemon game. Does that still hold up today? That was before Pokemon X and Y were released. So Pokemon X and Y are actually my favorite now. Specifically Pokemon X. Because Xerneas is way better. Way better. But I still like Platinum a lot. It's probably my second favorite. Second or third. History Sea Otter subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for choosing me with Twitch Prime. Really appreciate that. That is awesome and some big service. And now Fang is properly at level 10. Thank goodness. Avatar nutrition is amazing for giving you macro targets. Okay, I kept seeing like macro over and over again. I'm like, what? Well, yeah, for macronutrients. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really much of one for like food plan type things, I tend to be rather simple when I want to kind of eat healthier. Like, I'll go with high protein and a lot of more kind of natural ingredients. Like, for instance, my absolute go-to is like some tofu sauteed with like soy sauce or tamari or something like that, and some kale, and put that in like some quinoa. Ooh, yeah. I could literally eat that every day. Every day. Pika David 14 asking, besides Disasteros, what was your least favorite main series Pokemon game? That is a good question. Probably Fire Red and Leaf Green. I think. It's a tough one because, I mean, obviously I'm playing them right now, and I don't entirely dislike them. I just think they don't hold up quite as well, in my opinion. Although I feel like the important thing to remember about Fire Red and Leaf Green is how they were at the time. Because prior to that, you couldn't get so many of the Pokemon that were in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like the starters and stuff like that. Because you couldn't trade with Gold and Silver. So there's no way to get them. And, you know, it introduced things like the Versus Seeker and a few other things like that, so it's not like I dislike it. I have a lot of appreciation for what it brought, but now it's kind of a thing that, like, it doesn't hold up quite as well to me. Macros aren't about meal planning. It's about fitting what you eat into a budget of micronutrients that end up in a healthy amount of calories. Like, breaking it up by fat, carbs, and protein? Because that's kind of what I was, saying. Because I try to have a lot of the proteins, mix in some carbs and stuff. Like, I don't do that much of that. Like you said, what was it? Avatar Nutrition. So I thought it was like, oh, they have, I don't know, prepackaged stuff or have something. I don't know. Whatever works for you. That's just what I like to do. I like to have things like that when I'm eating healthy, at least. Out of curiosity, this is from Bryonic Knight, saying, out of curiosity, why did you hinder yourself in the Fire Red Wedlocke by not letting your Pokemon that have Stage 2 evolutions evolve to that stage? Very good reason. In my opinion, Fire and Leaf Green are probably the easiest games to do a Nuzlocke on. So, that being said, my options were either have, you know, your standard no items in battle, or mix it up with some other kind of challenge. So I think that that's why I wanted to go with something just to kind of mix it up, because the early game is actually kind of difficult. It's not like brutal, but there are definitely some trainers early on that can be a little problematic. But I feel like the late game trainers are usually pretty weak, especially like the Elite Four and stuff. Their movesets are just so bad. So bad. So I figure, you know what? To compensate for that, we'll just cut out an evolution line, essentially. You know, have it so my Pokemon are kind of handicapped with stats. I can still have really good move selections for them, but I can't, you know, have just fully utilized stats. And there are some Pokemon that have still pretty good stats that I'm not banning, but I think that's just kind of what prompted that. I think I can do it. I think I can. Oh, the grind. I can't believe it's already been almost half an hour. just training Fang. How would I personally rank every main game from hardest to easiest to Nuzlocke? Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a tough question. All right, chat. I want to hear it. I really want to hear it. I want you to let me know. Do you want me to take a moment to kind of like list it out? Because I'll get a list of all the games and then I'll rank them for you if you want, but it'll take a little bit of time. But, you know, we got time. We're just training. That is saying, thanks for reading these. Avatar Nutrition has no prepackaged foods. It's just a plan for allotted fats, carbs, and proteins for the day. Okay, I think I must have just misunderstood what it was then. But that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I go in phases when it comes to eating healthy. When I eat healthy, it's like I go full steam with that. And feel great. I actually lost a lot of weight in January, which is nice. And I haven't been eating all that great in February, but I did get through the month of January, which is good. I'll probably get eating healthier again after, probably in March or sometime. Because, like, right now, food is just like, hey, it's gonna be there. I need it because I've been under a lot of pressure and stress trying to get all these series done. Although I am feeling good as far as, like, you know, I'm not getting overstressed. And I'm definitely seeing we're at the point where, you know, it's paying off. Like, I'll be able to start having a lot more time again. So even though I put in a lot of work, it'll be a lot easier going forward. All right, let's get that list going. Let me get a list of games. Let's see. I don't even know, where is a list? Core series. Okay, list of core series games. Perfect, here we go. Alright, so this is gonna take a little bit of time, because I have to, like, order them from most difficult to Nuzlocke to least difficult. But there is something kind of important, and that's what rules. I'll only go with Nuzlocke rules, but, like, okay, X and Y, for instance, it's one of those games that I feel like, depending on what you do for rules, it is either really easy or really tough. Because the random trainers in the game, they have just ridiculous Pokemon. So if you turn on the experience share, like, you're gonna be over-leveled for most of it. I guess, okay, here's what we'll do. I'm going to base all of my assumptions on having it with not necessarily a level limit, but trying to keep Pokemon within that level, more or less. So, turning off the experience share responsibly, and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind with my rankings. And also on set. Just because I think that kind of actually makes Sun and Moon a little easier, because a lot of the tough fights are totem fights, which are not really affected by set in the slightest. Okay. Let me get, like, a notepad or something. Alright. So, let's see. We have... Alright. Red, blue, yellow. Gold, silver, crystal. I think I'm gonna count them as the same. Except for emerald. I feel like emerald is substantially different. So we'll do ruby, sapphire, emerald, fire red, leaf green. Okay. Fang leveling up. Diamond, pearl, platinum. We'll count that separate too, because it's also pretty different. And then black, white. Black, white 2. Oh, I forgot heart gold, soul silver. What else do we have? We have X and Y, Oros, Sun, Moon, and then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. All right, so we're not counting the Coliseum and XD games because that's different. So red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, fire, red, leaf, green, diamond, pearl, platinum, heart, gold, soul, silver, black and white 2, X and Y, Oros, sun and moon, and then ultra sun and ultra moon. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think I'm missing any. Okay, so if I were to order these for most difficult, now that there are 3 blaring choices for like candidates of most difficult. Definitely 3 candidates there, and that's platinum, that's ultra sun, ultra moon, and black and white 2. Well, actually, I wouldn't even put black and white 2. I'd actually say sun and moon are more challenging. Because platinum is really challenging from the start to the finish, I'd say. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are definitely more challenging than Sun and Moon. But that one fight in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, well, I definitely say... Actually, I don't know if Oros or Fire and Leaf Green are easier. I think I'd actually say Fire and Leaf Green are easier than Oros. And I'd say Ruby... Or not Ruby, Red, Blue, and Yellow are probably right behind them. Because the AI tends to be kind of broken in a lot of instances. And also the movesets are pretty bad. Like, you get a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of good TMs. So it's pretty exploitable. Then I'd probably say Oros. I think the Heart Gold Soul Silver / Gold Silver Crystal games are probably next on that list for the bottom. I'd say Heart Gold and Soul Silver are a little harder because red is a lot harder in that fight, and Lance has 3 Dragonites with stab dragon type moves that are physical based instead of special based, so that's really scary. I'd actually rank them even farther than I don't know. Diamond and Pearl are not easy. Black and White are not easy. You know what? Let's go ahead and put Heart Gold and Soul Silver harder than X and Y. Oh, the Kimono Girls. I forgot about them. They're a lot easier in a Nuzlocke, though, but they're still pretty tough. Well, I know Black 2 and White 2 are probably harder than Black and White. Especially early on. Emerald is fairly tough, but I'd say Diamond and Pearl are tougher than Emerald. Now, is Black and White tougher than Diamond and Pearl? That's what I don't know. Oh, I need to get out of this fight. Huh. And is Emerald harder than Heart Gold and Soul Silver? There are quite a few points in Heart Gold and Soul Silver that are hard. But I feel like a lot of it is easy. Actually, there's some tough fights in Ruby Sapphire for that matter. Emerald has a lot more trainers scattered around. Alright. I think I have my list. I'm gonna look it over one more time here. I told you it'd take a little while, but again, it's kind of one of those things that takes a little bit of thought. Although it's getting the chat talking, which is really good. Definitely really good. It's good to have topics like that while training and doing kind of boring things, you know? Shoot. Now I just don't know about how I would rank Heart Gold and Soul Silver in comparison to Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire, and then Diamond and Pearl. I feel like Diamond and Pearl is harder than Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because the gym leaders are still really hard. And oh, you know what? Wallace being the champion, I feel, is a little easier than Steven. Although I think the rest of the fights are tougher. Realistically, you can beat Red with level 55 Pokemon. Not in a Nuzlocke on set. That's just not gonna happen. You can do that on a normal game. But you'd have to be pretty ridiculous to do that without abusing items. Huh. I think I'm gonna go with this. I think this is my list. Alright, so here we go. We're actually gonna do it in reverse order. We're gonna do it from easiest game to hardest game. Okay. So, let me have a sip of water here. You beat Red at level 55 with Switch instead of Set. Probably not that bad. Are you talking in Gold, Silver, Crystal, or are you talking in Heart Gold, Soul Silver? Because, you know, level 88 Pikachu and, like, level upper 70s, low 80s that actually have good moves, it's way different. Way different. In a Nuzlocke. Like, sure, you could do it, but are most people going to do it safely? No. Anyway... my ranking would be from easiest game to Nuzlocke, assuming set mode. Oh yeah, if it's Gold, Silver, Crystal, that's fine. Assuming set mode, and assuming, you know, reasonable level limit, like not absolutely strict, but, you know, no experience share abuse, I guess. I would say Fire Red and Leaf Green are the easiest. Red, Blue, and Yellow come after them. Although, you know, let's actually clarify something. I actually do want to make a change to that. I think Yellow is definitely more difficult than Red and Blue. We're going to split that up. We're going to split that up because I keep forgetting, oh yeah, Pikachu early on. And Sabrina is like level 50 with that Alakazam. In fact, that actually might make it harder than Golden. Nah. Alright, anyway. Let's start over. Let's start over. Alright, Fire Red, Leaf Green are the easiest. Red and Blue are immediately after them. Then, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, in my opinion, are pretty easy. It just feels like their AI is so bad, and there's only like 2 or 3 fights in the game that are even remotely scary. Then Yellow, because Yellow, it does have those moments that are rather difficult. Oh, and Fang leveled up. There we go. Then Gold, Silver, Crystal. I feel like they're a little harder than Yellow because you have fights like Whitney, you have the Elite Four Gauntlet, 3 Dragonites is still kind of scary. You have to do Kanto as well, and then take on Red. And even though Red isn't like that tough in Gold, Silver, Crystal, it's still a little scary when you're playing on set. That's the big thing. If it was for a Switch, it'd probably be... I'd probably put Yellow over that. Because then you just counter Red's weaknesses. Or Red's Pokemon, it's easy. Alright, then X and Y. However, in my opinion, if you're playing set with no items in battle and a level limit, I feel like X and Y is actually a lot tougher than a few other things. Like, it's one of those games that the more challenges you apply to it, like, it gets substantially tougher because the random trainers are really brutal in that game. Then I'd say Heart Gold, Soul Silver, because you have the Kimono Girls fight, you have the Lance fight, you have the red fight, you have the blue fight. Chuck can also be a problem sometimes. Same with Bugsy. I keep forgetting how vicious that Scyther and that roosting Pidgeotto that Falconer has. Like, there's some tough moments in that game. Then I'd say Ruby Sapphire, and I think they're harder than Heart Gold, Soul Silver. The reason is, I feel like the trainers, or the Pokemon that trainers have, or gym leaders have, I feel like they're actually pretty well constructed. They have good coverage, and you also, you know, it doesn't seem like they're that tough, but there's not a lot of Pokemon that you can catch that are really overpowered. There really aren't. So a lot of the things that you'd run into for your team aren't going to be that good. So it's kind of like, yeah, they only have, you know, 2 Slugmas and a Torkoal, but, you know, it's... Or, actually, I don't remember what it is in Ruby Sapphire, but whatever the case, like, things that don't seem that difficult, they are because you don't have good options. And then there are a lot of things that are painful. But I think Emerald is tougher than Ruby and Sapphire because I feel like they expanded on the gym leaders' moves and their strategies. There's a lot more trainers in the game. And, yeah. It's, in my opinion, a little bit more difficult. Although I think Steven's a little easier, or no, a little harder than Wallace. Because Wallace, you just go in with a water type, and there's little he can actually do. Like, you can just wall him pretty easily. Then I would say Diamond and Pearl. They're pretty tough. But I'd actually say Black and White are tougher than Diamond and Pearl. Because Diamond and Pearl did have some issues with, like, movesets. Some things just aren't all that impressive. Even though they have high-level Elite Four and Champion fights, like, their moves aren't quite as on point. Then I'd say, you know, Black and White, which you're limited as to which Pokemon you can use. There's nothing outside of Unova, so that makes it kind of interesting. Also the endgame gauntlet, like, you have 13 Pokemon in a row you have to fight, which is pretty crazy. Then I'd say Black 2 and White 2. Ooh, Bite. Yes, please. Let's get rid of Astonish, because I can't think of any reason I would need that. Right? Yeah, there's no reason I need Astonish over Bite. They have, like, the same effect. Leech Life is terrible, too. Okay. I would say Black 2 and White 2 are harder than Black and White. And my reason for that is the early game is so tough if you don't get Magnemite. And just beating Charon in the first place is very difficult. And then there's also, like, fights against Colress that are pretty tough. Fight against Getsus. White Kyurem or Black Kyurem aren't actually that tough if you have a counter, but if you don't, for whatever reason, they could do some damage. They could do some damage. And the Champion and Elite Four, I feel, were also very difficult, especially if you play on Challenge Mode, but I'm not assuming Challenge Mode here. Hey, thank you for the 200 bits, you! I really appreciate that. Okay. We're nearly at the end. There are the top 3 games, okay? So I will list them in my opinion, the easiest game to the hardest game. For the top 3, in my opinion, in number 3 for hardest game is Sun and Moon. I feel like they're pretty challenging. The totem Pokemon they're no easy fight. Like, really, most totems are very tough. And if you don't have specific counters to them, they are brutal. And even if you do have counters, they can be pretty rough. Like, especially the fight against Lurantis and the fight against Mimikyu. Those are... Ugh. Those are the things nightmares are made of. Like, they're very vicious. Very vicious. And a lot of the trainers in the game have pretty good Pokemon, too. And the end game fights are also very difficult, in my opinion. Thank you, Spacey Phoenix, for the 150 bits. Really do appreciate that. Second hardest, in my opinion, is actually Platinum. And that's because I feel like they took Diamond and Pearl and ramped it up. Sure, there's more variety, but that also means trainers have more variety, and they use them. You'll fight trainers throughout the game with evolutions. The gym leaders have much better moves. Even if their levels may be weaker at some points, their selection that they have on their teams, as well as their movesets, are very challenging. And I feel like it's actually a really great game to do a Nuzlocke on. It's tough, but it's definitely rather brutal. Sun and Moon is too easy, says Await. Well, there's these things called opinions. You're definitely entitled to yours. However, my opinion is that if you don't have a counter for Lurantis or Mimikyu, then you're gonna be in a bad time for a Nuzlocke. So I don't know if you turn on the experience share the whole time. If you do, well, that would probably explain a lot. But again, in the setting of a Nuzlocke where you don't have control over what Pokemon you catch, and where with this rule, or with my assessments of the games, kind of treating it as you don't over-level for any fight, then yeah, I'd say that it's really not that easy at all. But again, they're opinions, and, you know, you're perfectly entitled to yours. But I would say Platinum is tougher than Sun and Moon, because it's really tough throughout the whole game, very well crafted. The AI is also really darn good, I feel. It just seems like it's very on point. Like, they're always using the right moves and right tactics. It's pretty good. Yeah, and then you know what? Hardest, in my opinion, it's a tough call between this and Platinum, but I do think that Ultra Sun and Moon are actually harder than Platinum, because there is that one fight. You know the fight. Oh man. It's like, it's brutal. You have to be so prepared for that one fight. Oh yeah, I'm not assuming using Pokemon Refresh or anything like that. Like, if you're using that, yeah, the game's easy mode. Like, I'm talking if you're doing really more of an actual challenge on the game, awaiting. But yeah, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, really brutal. Really brutal. That one fight is just where runs go to die. I feel like they made some of the fights easier. I feel like they made Lurantis a lot easier. But then again, a lot of the other fights, they also are particularly brutal in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because the Pokemon use stat-reducing moves on you. So you're gonna run into, like, Haunter or things using Screech in the Mimikyu fight, and that really adds up. That means you can't set up the same way you could in Sun and Moon. Now, I feel like the final fight was a lot easier. I'm not gonna say who it is, but the final fight in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was a lot easier than Sun and Moon. But I think the rest of the game is a little bit more challenging, at least most of it. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that would be what I'd rank them. I'll go over the list again without the explanations. From easiest to hardest, we have Fire Red, Leaf Green. Then we have Red and Blue. Then we have Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Then we have Yellow. Then we have Gold, Silver, Crystal. which I think are mostly the same. They're too much the same that I don't think it matters which. Like, Crystal isn't different enough. Then we have X and Y. Then Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Then Ruby Sapphire. Then Emerald. Then Diamond Pearl. Then Black and White. Then Black and White 2. Then Sun and Moon. Then Platinum. And lastly, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Now, there's also another thing to remember. Like, you know, you may have had an easy time in some of these games. Or, like, if you're listening to this list, it's like, oh, I don't agree with you because I did this with 0 deaths, or I did this with no problem. But remember, in a Nuzlocke challenge, everyone has different teams. A lot of my decision-making process with this is kind of thinking about, all right, what's available to you? And you don't always have things that are available. Like, you might have gotten lucky with a certain encounter, or, you know, someone else might not have had what you did. So kind of thinking of the big picture is pretty important. Because you could just end up getting, like, something and just have it carry you. Now, I guess with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I don't know if I would count having, Chop, because that makes it so easy. Way too easy. But I think it's still pretty tough, like later on in the game. Alright, let's see. But yeah, that's just kind of my opinion on the matter. But again, we're all entitled to it. And again, that's kind of using not like the hardest rules imaginable, but like somewhat reasonable rules. So, you know, for instance, if you're using Pokemon Refresh and Super Training and the Experience Share, like, well, yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to be easy if you're going into some fights with level 70 Pokemon. Like, you know, what do you expect? Same with X and Y. They'd be a lot lower on that list if you turn the experience share on the whole game and you're waltzing into the Elite Four with, like, level 75s. Like, no, you're not really going to challenge yourself then. So that's why, at least my list did not base it on those things. Man, this is some boring training. At least it's good conversation, but I think it's still probably the better place to train. Oh man, I have no clue, Chris Lynette. I have no clue. It's such a tough fight. I think your Primarina and Lucario would do reasonably well, but yeah. Oh man. I can't believe we're already an hour through since the last break. That's crazy. That is crazy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that topic, that discussion, and have interesting things here. We are going to get to level 16. That's where I want to be before going into the forest, just in case. I need to think of where to go train Wisdom. So again, I have Hidden Power Fighting. I think I'll go to the caves. And then Crown. I don't know where to train Crown. Actually, probably also the caves, I'm thinking about it. And then Floss, that's easy. I can train Floss on the way back. Do I recommend grinding up for that fight? I would not go any higher than 60. Let's see. Here's a good question, says Pika David 14. Who is the hardest and easiest champion to fight in a standard Nuzlocke? I'm gonna say Cynthia and possibly Lance are the hardest, while Diantha is definitely the easiest. I don't know. I'd say probably... I'm trying to think. I would almost say that the rival in Fire and Leaf Green is the easiest, simply because the movesets are so bad. So bad. They're just not really a challenge because of that. Other than that, Diantha, I feel like, yeah, she has... she's pretty easy for the most part, but at the same time, if you don't have a counter for that Gardevoir, it is going to mess you up. Like, she has a lot of things on her team that can really do a lot of damage. So even though you're probably going to be good, and again, this is assuming you're not over leveled for the fight. Like, if you're around that level, I don't know. I think it's not the easiest, but I could see where people would think that. So much of it depends on what you have, because it's something that's, I don't know. Let's see. Hardest, I think, would probably be Cynthia Platinum. I think just she has too many threats, and it's just such a tough fight. Also, on the easy scale, I'd say... actually, maybe red, blue, yellow is easier. Actually, you know what? And thinking about it, yellow's probably really easy if you have to fight against Jolteon, because, like, that Jolteon doesn't do anything. It really doesn't. If you send out a Pikachu, like, you can so mess with the AI in that game. I'd say that's probably the easiest champion. But there's nothing really good. They don't have good moves. I don't think Diantha's a hacker, Silver Salamence. Though Gardevoir doesn't get Moonblast till 85, could still breed for one. Alright, we're gonna have to go on break. I just looked at the clock. So this is a training episode. That's fine. We'll finish up training when I get back. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. Alright, so I will see you guys in just a few minutes. Aw, yeah.